Hello everybody out there in the land of YouTube. It is time for Off the Ledge. It is Thursday, May 29th. Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe. So, a few things. I found a way to cope with when, the losers are all acting like big idiots. And I've said this before. Whenever you see them, blatantly lying and being horrible, and you're like, how can they live with themselves? How do they sleep at night? They're so awful. They're working for Putin. They're fascists, and they're hurting people that are already hurting, and all that. When you really get in that place of you're just incredulous, like, they're such terrible people. I want you all to do this. Get down on your knees and say a prayer of gratitude, whatever form that takes for you, just be grateful if you don't pray. Dear God, higher power, whatever. Thank you for not creating me to be capable of that. I'm totally serious. It makes me grateful that to the best of my ability, and I know this is true for all of you, I make an effort to be kind and compassionate. But it's not just making an effort to be kind and compassionate. It's like that's a natural tendency for me. And that's a natural tendency for human beings that aren't just really, really badly damaged and just swimming in darkness and evil. Be glad that it's not you. It's really effective for me to do that. Let's read from Ernest. Tonight we have our guided meditation for a healed America. We do that every single Thursday. I've been leading people in guided meditations right here on this channel and in the group Grassroots of Democracy that we had up until October of last year. We have been having meetings. So I'm talking like 2.5, going on 3 years of leading my viewers in guided meditations for a healed America. So please join us for that, 7 to 7:30 p.m. live here, Eastern Time. And also, if you want to receive the declarations that a group of us are doing on our own, but we sync up to 12 noon Eastern Time, adjusted to your time zone, send me an email at fdion7@gmail.com, and I'll just copy and paste it and forward it to you. You just read it and visualize that being what happens to save our democracy. It's really simple. It takes 5 minutes every day. All right, let's read from Ernest Holmes. Ask and ye shall receive, that your joy may be full. From the book of John. It's spiritual, it's not religious. Nothing in our thought about God should produce sadness or depression. Rather, it should do quite the reverse. Because our faith in and love of God should give us such a confidence and such a sense of security that we should indeed be able to say, "Joy to the world, the Lord has come." We must come to realize that God is not in some far-off place, but instead that God is an inward, intimate presence, closer to us than our very breath. I'm going to read that again, because we seem to forget that in general. God is an inward, intimate presence, closer to us than our very breath. God is not, nor can ever be, separated from us, but too often we separate ourselves from God. We now affirm that there is nothing in us that can doubt this presence or limit the power of good in our lives. There is nothing in us that can separate us from the love of God, and we accept the joy of living in the very midst of it. The divine presence leads us on the pathway of peace. It directs our thoughts, our words, and our actions into constructive channels of self-expression. It unites us with others in love, in kindness, and in consideration. Today we accept this action gratefully and realize that it brings into our experience everything necessary for our joy and happiness. We affirm for others that which we accept for ourselves. And so it is. Yay. Yay, source. Yay.
This is Kathy Beal of
Whoops.
Empowerment.
Hang on. That's next.
.net with it.
I'm just trying to grab something. Yay, Ernest Holmes. Yay, all of you and all of me and universal wisdom. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Insert your concept of God in place of that word if it's more comfortable for you. Now we'll listen to Kathy Beal. And then I'll pull a few cards. I just want you all to know that despite everything bad that it looks like is going on, there's good happening too. I promise. More on that later.
Astro Insight for May 29, 2025. It's a milk and cookies day with a twist. Maybe you want a different type of milk than you normally drink. Maybe you change your mind partway through the day. Maybe you decide instead of cookies, you want jelly donuts. There's something metaphoric in all of this. The day's generally emotionally connecting vibe, emotionally nurturing vibe, does hit a change of plans as the day goes on. Just go with it. That's all for now.
Be flexible and resilient. That feels good to me. That feels like a forecast for something good coming. I'm telling you, something good's gonna happen. I know a person in Nashville that wrote a song, and it stuck with me for all these years. Something good's gonna happen. Something good's gonna happen. Oh, just something good's gonna happen. Something good's gonna happen today. I sort of ad-libbed and improv'd, but it kind of went like that. So let's just keep those things in our mind. And remember too, more and more I'm getting the message, and I mentioned it before, that all this energy that we've had to pay attention to what's going on in our country, and so we've had to expend all this energy focused on this, orange buffoon clown who's hell-bent on destroying America, who's buddies with Putin. All that energy, all those, the impeachment trials, the rape stuff, the insurrection, all of it. There's so much, and we've had to have our focus on it because we have to pay attention for so long. So let's redirect that energy and think about yourself being in America that's on the rebound, coming back bigger and better. Build back better was the Biden slogan. And whenever anybody starts bashing Biden, leave a comment. Please leave a comment. I've been doing that consistently. And today on Katie Couric's comments, she was interviewing Aaron Parnas, who's a Substack writer. He's a very, very active in social media. It would always going well, always going fine. Then she brought up Joe Biden, and Joe Biden, they should have talked about his condition. And I put in the comments something to the effect of, why are you talking about Biden, first of all? And they all do it. They all do it. I even left a comment for Michael Cohen. You fell into the trap. You fell into the Biden trap. They got you. Maybe some of you saw it. I wrote in the comments, I don't even care if Biden was drooling and in a wheelchair. There were brilliant people. Besides him being brilliant, there were brilliant people in that administration. And I want to just remind everybody that I recorded, and it took me 15-minute videos, 22 15-minute videos to outline all that the Biden administration had done for America in 4 years. And that includes pulling this entire nation out of the abyss that Dumpy One left us in the midst of raging COVID that they were botching. Like, of course they were botching it. He threw away the pandemic book, Dumpy did. I don't care if Biden had been drooling and in a wheelchair, just making the point. Do not bash on Biden. They all fall into the trap. I've not seen it not done. By pro-democracy channels. Uh-oh. I'm yelling again. Okay, 3 cards for today. I'll be back a little bit later with a pop-up to go over a couple of things, questions for the day. Please join us tonight. In the meantime, I've got plenty of material to watch, plenty of videos, and when you join, you have access to all the things that I'm teaching on my members-only videos. So right now, it's, today's day 3 on how to be a psychic. Just hit the join button and choose the level at which you could afford to donate monthly. So, interesting cards today. What I have here is, I really feel like the energy is pushing towards the MAGA Republicans bashing the bill, the murder bill, because they know how bad it will be for them. Most of them are narcissists in a cult, the worst kind. But the idea of sharing the wealth and not hoarding the wealth is catching on. Don't get me wrong, I don't mean they just had to come to Jesus moment and just like turned away from their evil ways. I don't mean that. I mean that it's looking like they're more agreeable to not passing the murder bill. And this is us doing it. This is us energetically making this occur. That is strong guidance. This is us energetically as a total one-mind consciousness. All of us that are doing the work. It doesn't take 100% of the population. It takes a very small segment of the population to be doing the work that we're doing, similar to this, anything similar to this. Just getting our minds on track with where they need to be. When we fight, we win. We're moving the needle, people. Stop doubting. Sharing. Compromise. Totality. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you later on. And please share, and please hit the thumbs up, and please subscribe if you can, and join. Subscribing is free. See you later. Namaste.